What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, Favorite Energy, and it has been a long time. Shout out to my Bigo family. Like I said, it has been a long time. So, where has Favorite Energy been, man? I have been going through some of the most life changing situations. And so what does that mean? Well, let me send out my invites real quick. Hold on. Let everybody know that. Boost the room. Hold on. All right. I wish I could select everybody, but hold on. I'm sending out my invites. And so, YouTube family, give me 1 second. Hello, beautiful Bernice. Hold on, Bigo family. Okay, so I shared my live. All right, so where have I been? Man, like I said, it's been a lot. Let's start with my case. So a lot of you, if you don't know, a lot of you may not know, but I was shot. Turn my mic up just a little bit. Hold on. All right, there we go. So I was shot back in 2019. I got shot in the head. As you can see, I need to cut my hair, but you can see I got bald spot right here. So the bullet entered right here, tore all of this up. And so the guy that shot me, he went to court, and instead of allowing, the case to go to trial, he went on ahead and he pleaded guilty. And he was sentenced to a total of 25 years. Of course, he has been locked up going on 4 years, and so he will get time served, but he won't get day to day. And so that's a good thing that part is over for me. That closes a major, chapter in my book. But the dude's mom reached out via Facebook. That's right. The guy that shot me in the head, his mom winded up sending my father a friend request, on Facebook. Yeah. And the problem with that is like, what's your intentions? Like, first of all, the guy that shot me, I don't even know this man. So the story that happened, the way it happened is October 22nd, 2019, I stopped at a store, and the guy that wanted to shoot me in the head was at that same store. The most that I said to this guy was, "Excuse me," when I walked past him, just walking past him, "Excuse me," manners, whatever. That was our only interaction. Before exiting the store, I said some more words to the clerk that was behind the counter. We talked for a brief moment, and I wound up leaving the store. The guy winded up following me in his car. At first, he went in the opposite direction. Like, we wound up leaving the store around the same time, and he wound up getting in his car and going in the opposite direction than I was headed. But I noticed he did a U-turn. So he followed me, and the report says it was a total of 8 minutes he followed me. We wind up on a high-speed chase because once I realized I was being followed, I panicked. And so, you always wonder what would you do if you was in a certain situation. It never crossed my mind. Let me get to the nearest police precinct. I will say it crossed my mind to let me drive, and I hope we pass a cop. And so I was going down streets that I knew would attract cops because they're usually, around the area where we were driving. But unfortunately, that night it didn't happen. So Ford say that he followed me for a total of 8 minutes, but we wind up going down a street called Jefferson Street. And by the time we got on Jefferson Street, he was already opening fire. And so one of the bullets did go through my back windshield, went through my headrest, hit me on the left side of my brain, messed up the entire right side of my body. Like I just now got to the point where I can move my right arm, my right hand. I still have drop foot. So it getting hit on the left side shut down the mobility on my right side. Again, because the therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, I learned how to walk, talk, all of that. So again, that chapter closed. We went to court and he pled guilty. But then again, afterwards, his mom reached out to my dad. And again, I'm trying to figure out, like, who are these people, man? Why are y'all reaching out to me or to my family? Like, what do y'all want? I don't know y'all. And so I waited for to hear back from the prosecuting attorney just to see what steps we need to take. And he said it's not uncommon that when it comes to cases like this, that the family that the person that committed the crime, they have seen several cases where the family will reach out to maybe the victim or the victim's family just to try to offer apology or just to offer some type of remorse. And so but it's for me, honestly, it's nothing that no one can say anything. I really pray and plead over my children's life. I ask God to I pray that none of my children strays away and does anything to anywhere near this capacity. I hopefully they're just good stand-up citizens. But what can you say? You know what I'm saying? What can you say to somebody that I don't know? What can you say to people, to someone that has done you like this? Like, if my child was to ever do something like that, I wouldn't know what to say. Given I'm sorry, is I feel like it's not enough, and if that is the case, I understand, his mom is trying to do something, but sometimes doing nothing is the best thing to do, especially with a situation like this. I showed up to the court cases to make sure, or court appearances, so I could get justice, right? And that's what wound up happening. again, the prosecuting attorney was like, just if she reaches out and sends a communication, you could let it be known you don't want to talk, and please don't, reach out to me or my family again. And that's really how I feel about it. I don't know these people. I don't want to hear any I'm sorry's, and I wish this never happened to you. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. And the reason why I don't want to hear anything like that is because, again, this has gone on for. I got shot in 2019, and since then, no one from inside the family, and you really can't blame them. They never reached out. They didn't say, I'm sorry. Even the guy that shot me, I feel like if he was really had any type of ounce of remorse, you would have went on ahead and turned yourself in when they was looking for you. You would have went on ahead and let me go ahead and plead guilty. Not like they had an attorney, and he was really fighting this. And so the hope the defense attorney had was that maybe I won't show up to the court appearances when I had to take the stand. Maybe, she played on my injury. His lawyer played on my injury because I still have the .40 caliber bullet in my head. Maybe the bullet has affected me to the point where I really don't recall all the events that happened that night. Maybe I'm not going to show up at court at all. Like, they was really banking on this stuff. And when I took the stands and it was time for cross-examination, his lawyer, when she would ask me a question, and when I was explaining, like, one of the questions was, okay, so when you were leaving court, which direction did you head in when you left? And right before I started to give my statement, she asked me to hold on and ask for a glass of water. And she drank some more water. And she's like, excuse me, I had to, I was thirsty, she repeated the question again. I gave my statement. And she was, oh, I'm sorry, hold on. And she drank some more water. And so she was like, okay, so you said which direction did you go in? What? And I'm like, they're trying to trip me up. Like, I told her, I went to the right. He went to the left. Because, you go to the left, you're going back towards the street that was called West Trinity Lane. If you go to the right, like I did, you going towards the street called Clarksville Highway. And when she asked me to hold on, she drank her water, and then she twisted what I said. She was like, okay, so you were saying that you went back to the left and he went to the right. I said, I did not say that. I said I went back to the right, he went to the left. And I told her the street names again. So, I felt like if there was any remorse about what happened, I wouldn't have had to go through any of that. They let me know that it was a chance that the case could go to trial, and if it did go to trial, I would be the key witness. So when I was going through speech therapy, I was thinking about that. Like, I'm going to be heard clearly. If I have to take the stand again, these people are going to understand every word that proceeds out of my mouth. Because during that time, I got shot again in 2019, October 22nd, 2019. We went to court. He was called, and when it was time for us to go to court and me to take the stand to tell what happened, that was March of 2020. So back then, I was barely able to speak. I was just learning how to talk again. And so I gave a clear note. I had to speak real slow and close to the mic. But I did it. right? And so the thing is, I just don't want to hear from none of those people. I don't feel like it's worth it. I really don't. It's not worth it to hear from these folks. So that's one thing I dealt with. I lost my mom in February of last year, and that's a different type of hurt, and that brings me to today's topic. It's called "I Miss My Loved One." I miss my mom. I was able to spend the last week with my mom, and this here is that week. We're in that week now. February 12th is the anniversary date, and last year during this time, we were she was in live hospice. We chose to do live hospice at home in home hospice care, and I would sit with her while my stepdad and sister went to work. I was the last one to see my mom alive or eyes open. I don't want to say it like that. I was the last one to see her eyes open, and it's a lot with that, because I'm learning about the different stages of grief. I finally broke myself down and enrolled into counseling, because I'm like, I really want to make sure that I'm okay, and I'm not just saying I'm okay just because that's, as a black man, that's what we have been taught. Like, just I don't even want to talk about it. But the main person that I would talk to about my problems, and again, me and my mom we didn't have the best relationship, because there was a wedge in between us because of her husband, and he has been a part of our life pretty much, you can say, my entire life, because when she met him, she was 19 and I was 2 years old, and they got married, and I'm now 37, and that's a 35-year relationship that I was forced to deal with, because again, that's my mom and that's who she chose. And just because the different things that he did to my mom, just all of the abuse, mental, verbal, physical, all that, I was in counseling during that time. Like, I remember my mom signed me up for different programs, and I believe she was trying to help shield me from a lot of the things that she exposed me to, because she chose this man as her husband, right? Fast forward all the way to now, she's gone. There's no more. Let me take that wedge out from between us, and let me, let's build let's connect. Let's fix this. Let's get back on track. And we did, but again, it was just to a certain degree, right? And a big part of that is just, I really wish I could have made it better, right? And so losing a loved one can be hard. And the first part of grief, the stages of grief, is denial. Like, this can't be happening. And when my mom was in the hospital, I remember when I walked into the hospital room, she back in 20 2021. I remember Thanksgiving was the last holiday I spent with her. And she was having trouble keeping food down. I remember 2021 Thanksgiving, she didn't even eat any of Thanksgiving food. She was drinking broth, like a bouillon cube that was boiled down. And she was like, I can't keep nothing down. Every time I eat something, it winds up coming back up. And so I remember Christmas, I spent Christmas at home. But she wound up going into the hospital shortly after Christmas. And pretty much the entire month of January went by, and we were getting ready to go into February, and I'm like, man, mama been in the hospital for a long time, man. And so, we go to the hospital, or I go to the hospital. I remember walking into her room, and she looked at me, and she was like, hi. And she was like so happy to see me. And I'm like, Mom, what's going on with you? It's time for you to come on out the hospital. It's time for you to get better. What's going on? And doctor comes in, and he pretty much explains that, your mom wound up having a stroke while she was in the hospital, which would have made like her third stroke. She had like one stroke, had a slight one, second like slight one. This last one, it really did a lot of damage to her brain. She couldn't tell you if she was hungry, if she was thirsty, if she looking up or down. That last stroke really messed her up. But when I walked into the room, she still recognized who I was. She knew who I was, and she was still able to talk. And she was still in her right mind. And so the doctor just let us know everything was going on, that she, she's pretty much, they recommend the Palatine, right? They've done everything they could do. And I was like, so it's just willpower. She not eating because she doesn't want to, like, pretty much. I'm like, if that's the case, then mama don't like being in the hospital, right? So all we got to do is just get her back home. She gonna start eating, everything gonna be all right. So one of the 5 stages of of grief, one of them being denial. Individuals may refuse to accept the fact that a loss has occurred. They may minimize or outright deny the situation. It is suggested that loved ones and professionals be forward and honest about losses to not prolong the denial stage. And so we got mom home, hospital bed set up, everything. My sister sent me a picture that mom, she had on a nightgown and her hair was combed, and it was like they were showing me like, man, she gonna be all right. Look, she's sitting up on the couch like she feeling good, and you could just see it on her face like she was tired. But I was still believing like, man, she good. She gonna fight back. All right. And so they was like, man, mama asked for a hamburger today. And so they cooked a hamburger. She asked for some old, broth, fix the broth. Like, of course, she didn't eat the hamburger, but at least she asked for it. She asked for food. So let's keep it going, y'all. And that last week, man, again, it was hard because as days went on, you just saw her slowly, just going. And so one of the second stages of grief is anger. And so I was asking myself, why is this happening to me? And when you're going through anger in the grief stage, an individual realizes that a loss has occurred. They may become angry at themselves or others. They may argue that the situation is unfair, and they try to place blame. And I said it, I'm like, man, this ain't right, man. My mom went through all type of hell and high water with this dude, man. All type of hell and hot water, man. She lost everything. My mom she owned 2 houses at one time. She was working in First American Bank. Like, she was doing all type of shit, and she lost everything. She begged and pleaded with this fool for years, man. And he just dogged my mom. And for some reason, I'm like, why the hell are you staying with this dude, man? Do you not care or not love me enough to leave him the fuck alone? Not only that, but then you turn around and you have 2 more kids. You had two with him. Again, I'm 37 years old. I got a sister that just turned 23 this year, just a few days ago, and I got an 18-year-old sister that's in college right now. Do you see the age gaps that I'm saying here? And then it was all the foolery and fuckery that we went through even before she had my sister, because she met him when she was 19. I was only 2. By the time she had my sister, I was 15, man. That's 13 years of bullshit that I went through just by myself as a single child with my mom and my stepdad. I'm talking about being beat. I'm seeing them fist fight and hit each other with bats and shit, knocking dentures out of my stepdad's mouth with it was a Wolfacone bat. I don't know if y'all remember, but it was these plastic bats. It was a red bat. That hard plastic had it had a wide base and a skinny handle, and they would give you like a real hard plastic baseball. Everybody had one of these like little baseball bat type things back in the day. She took that motherfucking bat and went straight across his face, knocked the dent clean cross. I'm seeing him punch and kick her. My stepdad, if you remember the movie Friday, he looked just like Debo. I will show y'all the pictures right here hanging up on the wall. Man, fuck that. There you go. That's my mama. That's my stepdad. Right there. He about 6'2", 6'3". He about 275, somewhere around there. Did a lot of time in prison, and that was another thing, man. That man was locked up in prison for a long ass time, man. We spent so much time going to these damn visitations down every Saturday. We driving about 5-6 hours to a prison that's in the middle of no fucking well to spend a cool 4-5 hours on a Saturday visitation. I want to shout out to everyone that's in the house. What's going on? We still here. Thank you for joining. We are talking about the different stages of grief, and with my YouTube family, I'm sharing that with my Bigo family, and it's been a while Bigo. I haven't been live on Bigo for a while because I've been going through so much, a lot, and I just haven't been just feeling it. But I've made some changes in my life, and one of those changes is just opening up about my story, because there's somebody out there, somebody on one of these platforms that need to hear these stories that I have, because somebody out there has went through what I've went through, or is going through what I'm going through, or are having difficulty processing this, and maybe just too scared to go get help. And maybe they're just hoping, they use social media as an outlet, and they may be searching for somebody in social media that's talking about what they're going through, so they can relate to somebody. So I just want to make sure that I can be that voice. I don't have all the answers. I'm just a regular person, but I am going through something. And one of the things that I've learned thus far is just talking to random people, just talking to somebody you don't know about what you're going through. It is very, therapeutic. And so I'm now getting back to this, and here I am telling the story. And so it angered me. Again, this is the second stage of grief. First one being denial. It angered me. Number two being anger. It angered me because it's like, how the fuck can? And I'm just keeping it real. Thank God. I am a Christian. I do believe in God, but I also keep it real, man. I curse. I will curse, and I feel like me and the God I worship. I believe in Jesus. I believe in I do. I believe. And I believe Jesus was a real person. I believe he was a black man. I believe they killed him. Now, I'm sitting here thinking, like, why are you sitting here? Why did you let my mom go? Like, we went to church. We believe, we sung in the choirs. We did all that, tithes and offerings. How is it that you let my mama go and she didn't have it? She didn't have not 1 ounce of peace, man. This man's still alive. My mom literally, she stressed herself to death. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. She really did. Stressed herself to death. My mom would have been 54, going on 55 this year, if she was still alive. My mom died young, man. And so I was angry. And a part of me is still angry because I'm still grieving. And the thing is, when it first happened, I would argue the situation is unfair, and I placed a lot of the blame on him. Like, man, he the reason why my mom died. It's him, because the nigga never act right, man. Whatever she saw in him, I don't know why she loved him the way she motherfucking loved him, but she did, man. And I'm like, dude, if you would have just got your goddamn shit together, man, y'all would have been all right. That's all she ever asked you for. But as I continue on, I can't place blame on him. That's not it's her fault. Even though he was a fucked up individual, that's my mom's fault, because she made the decision to dedicate herself to whatever he had going on, right? But one thing I can say is, God's time is not wrong. All because I wanted it to go in the order of my mom's still alive, he need to be gone. I can want that, but what I want may not be what God wants. You see, He was known for running off all the time. He be gone. Ain't no telling when he gonna come back. He be gone week, 2, 3 weeks at a time, another month. I'm like, why the fuck you still accepting this type of behavior? The thing is, mm, the thing is, if mom was still alive to this day, and based on how things would always shape up, my mom would be. She had it had got to the point to where she was dependent on him because her health had got to the best of her, and she could no longer work. Now she relied on her disability and him working to bring whatever money he brought in the house. She was man, she made shit work. And she would pay bills and did everything she could. But when he would run off, it'd be times where she would be calling sad because she can't get her medicine. My sisters, they were teenagers, and they being unruly and things. How teenagers are, so she's stressed about that, and she can't get out the house because she no longer can drive. So she was very dependent on him. And if my mom was still alive, now that my baby sister is now gone off to college, my other sister has her own family. She just had her second child, and she has a family of her own. So my mom would be lonely right now. My stepdad would probably be gone out wherever he gone. My sister gone to school, and my mom's just in the house. And it's whenever he decide to come back. That's what I'm saying. So it's like with everything that was going on, it makes sense now. And the thing that I can say is that, man, when I say he, I mean my stepdad. When my stepdad was told like this is it, cause I know he even believed like, man, she gonna be all right. She always bounce back. She always she gets sick and then she fight back. But then when it was like, nah, not this time. My mama always told me that she like I love them, I prayed, but one thing that he's gonna regret is that when I leave, I ain't coming back. And that's gonna miss his world all the way. That'll be my get back, my peace of mind is gonna be when I'm gone. Because he ain't gonna know what to do. And I can tell y'all, man, that I just showed y'all a picture of my stepdad, and he don't look nothing like he don't look like that no more. He full blown crackhead. I hate it, but he wouldn't. There's nobody else out here that's gonna love him to the capacity that my mom did. Not even his mom. She's still alive. All the stuff that my stepdad, even his mom, I don't know why you don't call me. I don't know why you put up with it. Don't call me. So going into the third stage, knowing that denial and anger are the first two, the third stage is bargaining. I will do anything to change this. You see, in bargaining, the individual may try to change or delay their loss. For example, they may try to convince a partner to return after a breakup or search for unlikely cures in the case of a terminal illness. And that was us. When you get into the bargaining stage, I'm like, man, all right. Man, mama, all she got to do is let go of all this salt. She can go vegan. She can do, this can turn things on. There was no cure. There was no serum. There was no creature cooler. There was no sea moss. There was no black oil seed. There was no vitamin D, vitamin K. There was no, let's get out in the sun and just let our melanin get some. There was none of that. There was no amount of praying to Jesus, praying to the ancestors, praying to, there's no bargaining agreement. And I sat there beside my mom's bed and I would just, maybe if we just pray a little bit harder, maybe we didn't sing songs a little bit more. And so first I went through denial, then I was angry. Now I'm trying to bargain with the situation. Now that I know there's no bargaining, depression becomes the fourth stage. What's the point of going on after this loss? I just got shot in the head October 22nd of 2019. Here we are 2 years later. You mean to tell me I'm finna lose my mama? You got to be kidding me, man. And so in depression, at that stage, the individual has come to recognize that a loss has occurred or will occur. The individual may isolate themselves and spend time crying and grieving. Depression is a precursor to acceptance because the individual has come to recognize their loss. So the individual may isolate themselves and spend time crying and grieving. Mama has been gone for a year come this Sunday. I have been in this house. I don't really go out no more, man. Because I live with a disability and I feel like I'm in people's way. You know, before I got shot, I was a normal person. I walked fast. I clocked in and out of work. I was driving home in traffic. I was a normal person. After being shot in the head, in my mind, I can still move and do and operate like I did before I got shot. But physically, no, I can't. Everything in my head, everything exists in your mind. So in my mind, I'm telling myself I can, and I still believe it. I never stopped believing it. But in the early stages, when it first happened, for the longest, the whole right side of my body was shut down. I would just look at my right side and like, move. Like I couldn't move I couldn't. And so once I started making slow progresses, I moved from a wheelchair to a walker, now to a AFO, because I have drop foot. But early on, when I would go to doctor's appointments, let me just try to go out. This world is not built for people with disabilities. We live in a it ain't even a microwave society no more. Everybody want everything instant, almost snap of a finger instant. We almost in a teleportation type of lifestyle. The fast pace is not fast enough no more. Teleport. I need that shit now. People with disabilities, this world is not meant for us. I remember walking down the corridor to my doctor's office and just looking at how fast people walk. And I'm like, man, people move so fast, man. And the thing is, unless you've had some type of situation to occur to slow you down, like you may have had a stroke or had something that you can't move as fast as you, unless something like that happens to you, you don't understand. I'm like, man, I'm in people's way. Let me get over here, because man, people will run you over. People are not considerate that you have a disability. They'll walk past you real fast, and you are expected to get out of their way, not the other way around. And so I'm already feeling like, man, I'm in y'all's way, and I'm already struggling to still accept the fact that, man, for 36 years, I lived without a disability. For 36 years, I lived without a disability. That means I did normal people stuff. For me, I love going roller skating. I go to the skating rink Sunday nights, old school skate jam. I'm out there getting the groove. I'm going grooving. Watch out! I'm skating backwards, forward, sideways, all that. That was my thing. I'm the biggest marching band geek that you may know in your life. I marched in high school. Then I went to college. Shout out to Tennessee State University for winning 2 Grammys. 2 Grammys. Shout out, first HBCU marching band to do it. I marched for the Aristocrat of Bands. I was all in high stepping band, man. I played tuba. I still got my trumpet in the closet. I did normal people stuff. Ride bikes, walk trails, go to the movies, all that. 36 years. My first year being disabled was the scariest thing ever, man, because in my head, I know I can still do this. And I'm telling myself, move. I'm trying to tell my right arm and right leg, move. It ain't moving. I'm still expected to go out in this world and live life. And it's like, man, I'm not even, man, people run you over, man. People that you once was cool with, they really show oh my God. Don't even get me started about the people that really show that they ain't in your corner, and that you get to see how people was really using you because you can't move the way you used to move. And like, it's the saddest thing ever, man. People don't, call you and reach out to you no more. And the posse that you was running with, the crew that you was running with, you don't fit in the vibe, the flow no more. So a lot of that, I isolated myself, man. I'm in y'all way, bro. And don't get me wrong, you got people that, nah, dude, you come on out here, we love you. You got that, and I'm thankful for those. But it's all mental. Like, my friends don't really understand, like, how hard it is for me. Like, I used to be able to just take a flight of stairs, but it's not the case no more. I still can, but it's gonna take me a little longer. Like I said, I can move my right arm, but I tell you, man, it's so my hand, my arm, all my joints, it's so stiff, man. It feel like somebody they just holding you down, like in your joint area, and you trying to move. Man. And on top of that, I'm losing my mama too. I'm trying to get back to some type of normalcy in my life. I'm at least I can move again. At least I can talk somewhat. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, I'm here with now. I'm finna lose my mama. That is the only woman on this planet that has ever understood me. I'm losing my understanding, man. I'm thankful for the 2 kids that I have. I have 2 different baby moms, and my son's mom. I'm very thankful for the level of understanding that we finally came to. It took a while, but we there. My son, my daughter mom. Like I said, the only woman that understood with me was my mom. Other than her, it was my grandmother. There was 2 women that understood me as a man that walked this planet. They understood me. They gone, man. They gone. Ain't no comeback. Gone. And then I told y'all we already had a wedge between our relationship, me and my mom. But she knew when shit was bothering me, man. She knew how to. She knew. There wasn't nothing keeping anything. You ain't keeping nothing from mama, bro. You're not doing it. Don't you know in this society how much we crave that from the person we trying to be with? You crave that level of understanding from your relationships, whether it be a friendship, a marriage, a boyfriend, girlfriend. You crave that, man. And especially as a man, if you was raised by a single black mom, so you automatically go out here looking for that same level of understanding from a mate, man. And it's gone. It's gone forever, for good. Like I'm really going through. That's why I said, man, I gotta give me some help, bro. Like, what the hell is going on in my life, man? It's like a wrecking ball just came through and just blasted my shit, man. I have never committed a crime in my life, man. My last speeding ticket was right around 18, 19. I'm like one of the most lamest ass niggas you ever meet in your life. I've never been locked up, nothing. How the fuck do you get shot in the head? Make that shit make sense. I can understand if I was out here just, you know what I'm saying, doing shit that I ain't had no business doing. I'm working 8 to, I was selling insurance, people. Make sure you at least have liability insurance if you don't have comprehensive and collision coverage, which is called full coverage to some. But I was that guy. I sell insurance, nigga. I sell insurance. Hey, it was lucrative as hell. I missed them with commissions. I ain't gonna lie. I made sure my people was suited and booted. Something happened to you, you get in a car accident, you straight. You came to me and got a policy. I would literally get off of work in the same store that I went to where the dude followed me. I would go to that store when I got off work wearing a 3-piece suit. It was a discount tobacco 99-cent store, y'all. I would go to that store, buy me a tall can of Bud Light or a Budweiser, or maybe, you know, however I was feeling that day. I might, you know, get some Yingling or whatever. I was standing outside in a suit, talking to people about why they should at least have liability insurance. And I'll be up there passing out my card. Like, man, give me a card, man. I was the nigga in the hood just trying to get back to my people. Just trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? At least, you know, here's some liability insurance. That way, you know, you might not have the money to take care of somebody if you get into a wreck. At least be able to do that much. That's how, in order to hold any type of license for the state, any type of certificate or certification from the state, whatever state you live in, you cannot be behind your child support. You can't have a felony. You can't. Then you gotta be damn near picture perfect. I'm that guy. I don't even got a tattoo on my body, but I'm getting shot in the goddamn head. What kind of shit is that? And then 2 years later, my mama, the only level of understanding that I get on this planet as a black man in America, that lady is now gone. Got to be more careful what I'm finna do with myself. Where do you go from here? Who do you talk to? The last stage of grief is what we call acceptance. Acceptance is the name of the insurance company that I worked for and sold insurance for. Shout out to Acceptance, because they are still taking care of me to this day with my long-term disability. Shout out to Acceptance. Shout out to Acceptance, because at the other end of the grief is acceptance, and that's what is going to bring you your closure, man. That's what lies on the other end of your grieving. Is that level, that peace is what lies on the other side of your grieving. You gotta go through the storm to get to the sunshine. When you get to acceptance, you get that it's going to be okay. When you get to acceptance, you finally, as an individual, will come to accept the loss. You understand the situation logically, and you have to come to terms emotionally with the situation. The last week, this last week is a sacred week for me, because this is the last week where I sat beside my mom's hospital bed in her living room, and I was able to go back to those memories that I had from the 90s, from going to church and seeing my mom sing, standing there with her choir robe on, leading a church song, to going, getting old enough to sing in the choir myself, to leading church songs myself, saying prayers and leading prayers and all of that. And so the reason why this week is major, because this is the last week I was able to praise the Lord with my mama, man. This is how deep this is for me. It ain't just, oh man, my mama gone, man. I'm gonna miss her cooking, man. Yeah, I'm gonna miss all that. But this is deeper than that for me, man. She was the one that told and taught me about Jesus, man. Her and my grandmama. Don't get me wrong, I've been all through the whole Pan-African spirituality. All of that. I've been through all of that. But one thing I do know is that when I got shot, I remember being encased in it felt like some type of bubble that was pitch black, and it was so peaceful. I didn't see any streets of gold. I didn't see an angel. I didn't see Jesus. I didn't see the devil. I didn't see the Babalaos. I didn't see Getty Nimbo. I didn't see Mama Oya. I didn't see none of them, man. I didn't see none of the ancestors. I didn't see none of that. But I heard a voice, a familiar voice that was an ancestor, that is an ancestor, that is my guide. I heard my grandma's voice tell me that it's not my time yet. I heard that. I didn't see her. I didn't see any pearly gates, y'all. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. But I did feel a peace. Man, I felt the level of peace. I felt the level of peace. I felt the level of peace, y'all. That you would never, unless this done happened to you, unless you done came close, yeah, unless you done coded out and the doctors them told you, hey man, you coded out. We told your family, hey man, we done everything we could do. Unless something like that has happened to you, you not understanding that people, there is a level of peace that I pray that when it's my time to go again, and this time it's final, that I can go to that peace that I felt, man. And that lets me know that if there is a level of peace, when it's time for us to go and check up out of here, that there's, bro, we all know as humans on this planet, if you got hot, you got cold. If you got light, you got darkness. If you got good, you got bad. If you got right, you got left. You got up, you got down. Nobody in this chat on YouTube or Bigo is gonna deny that. If you got right, you got left. You got up, you got down. If you got salty, you got sweet. Okay, so follow me. If we know that, that means if we have a level of peace that we can go to when it's time to go. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't see an entity or nothing. I'm telling you what I felt, man. I felt a peace. If there is an opportunity for you to feel peace upon your departure from this realm, don't you sit there and think that that is it. So what's the opposite of peace? Calamity? So what I'm telling you is, if there is peace on the other end, there is also unpeaceful on that same end. If we got up and down over here, then I'm telling you, I got over there and I felt a level of peace. And I'm here to tell you, there has to be agony too, as well. There's something, y'all, and I'm telling you, if you do not have pure intentions in your heart, I'm not telling you that there's a heaven or hell and you finna go to a place of fire. I'm not gonna tell you that at all. I'm gonna tell you like this: if you believe in reincarnation and you believe in all that, what makes you think that if you live a life of craziness and fuckery, that you won't reincarnate into a body that's full of pain and agony? Or what makes you think that you won't go to another dimension, and when you get into that realm is a hellacious realm that's worse than this dimension that we own now? You get into a dimension full of fucked up shit that's gonna manipulate and mistreat you. I'm telling you, it's something. I'm telling you, it's something, man. And that last week with my mom, that last day that I saw my mom with her eyes open, I was the last one to see my mom with her eyes open. I was the last one. She had her eyes open for the last time on Thursday. That was Thursday, February 10th. She didn't open her eyes no more on the 11th. And they pronounced her dead on the 12th. That last day that I saw my mama with her eyes open, she looked at me, in which I now know what that look means, but she looked at me, and that look she gave was, "I love you. And I'm so proud of you." When I saw her look at me, I'm thinking that she was wanting to. What's wrong? Are you hurting? Do you want? Are you trying to tell me you want to watch something else on TV? Are you trying to tell me that you're hungry? Are you trying to tell me what? What you trying to tell me? All she by that time it wasn't no more talking. My mom, she had just got some. Man, the transition so real, y'all. My mama went from talking and saying words to the prop, man. That ooh boy, y'all gotta excuse me, man. Y'all have to excuse me. I had counseling today right before I went live, and one of the things my counselor said is like, if you gotta let it out, man, because it's a reason why you coming and asking for help. You've been bottling up so much stuff. So if y'all see me shed a tear, man, excuse me. I miss my mom. I'm just getting real. If you hear me or see me shed a tear, just excuse that. Cause I miss my mama. My understanding is gone. It's completely gone. And what I mean by my understanding is gone, I don't expect no other human on this planet to understand me to the level and degree that my mama loved me. I don't expect no other woman on this planet to show me the love in the capacity that my mama showed me. It ain't gonna be nothing that anybody on this planet can do. My kids mama, the rest of my family. That's a love that's gone. It's gone, man. But like I said, that last day I saw her eyes open, she looked at me to let me know she loved me and she's so proud of me. And when the nurse was let us know when they got their phone call, come on, she's transitioning. He said, you know, when I got there, the nurse saying, you know, I can tell it's that time because she's taking 50 to 55 breaths a minute. She's trying to get air. I was able to look over and lean over to my mom and tell her about that peace that we will hear when we would go to church back in the 90s. That God has that perfect peace for you. He can give you a peace that nobody understands. You see, we get caught up in the words and we get caught up in what it looks like, you know, when you hear certain phrases and certain names in the Bible, you know, you hear the devil, you trying to create in your head, you trying to picture, is it a real red man with a pitchfork? Jesus really died. He really got holes in his hands, and you know, you trying to picture that stuff, and it's just like none of this makes sense to me. None of this is sounding right. It sounds just so unbelievable. I'm they said Moses saw a burning bush. The only burning bush that I've ever seen in my life is when I burned some herbs, some marijuana. Was that the burning bush that was talking about? I ain't never seen a talking snake in my life. They saying snakes was talking. What's going on around here? What are you saying? I can tell you some mysteries of this world that we don't understand and we never will understand. When they say, death, where's your sting? My mama, in her transition, I was able to tell her to go to that peace. Go to that peace and don't be scared of it. Go to that peace. It's your time. It's your time. You have fought the good fight. For whatever reason, you dedicated yourself to this man. You stood by your marriage vows. I said those vows. I meant those vows. I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to show you how in the face of adversity, you don't give up and you don't run. If you said that, you meant it. And mean what you say, stand on what you say. My mama understood something. She got us wrapped up in a situation that we couldn't get out of. You see, I told y'all at the beginning of the story, my stepdad lived that street life. He did a lot of time in prison. That meant we knew too much. Not we, because I didn't know nothing. She shielded me from a lot of things. But she knew. She had stories about all type of encounters when she was with him. So that means my mom knew way too much, and there wasn't no getting out of what you know. Except if you want to check out. So because of that, my mom had no choice but to stick with the decision she made. Because why? My grandmother and myself we would have been the ones that had to catch the heat. You feel what I'm saying, people? You ain't stupid. So she dedicated herself to, since I made this decision, since there's no way out, okay. But she always told me, I'm going to have the last laugh. And it's going to be the longest laugh. Because when I'm gone, I ain't coming back. He don't understand that. In his mind, he keeps seeing, oh, she's still here. She ain't left me. She ain't going nowhere. Oh, she done got sick. She go to the hospital all the time. She'll come out. And she said it one day. And when it's my time to go, I'm going to be gone. The day she passed away, February 12th of last year, it was so cold and rainy here in Nashville. It was cold, y'all. It was an overcast. It was gray. The wind was blowing. But when I told my mama to go to that peace, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. I meant that. Sunday, came, y'all. And it was so pretty outside. I mean, even the sunrise. The sun was coming up last year, and it was a pretty pink color in the sky, y'all. I was so tore up. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was messed up. But man, the sun shined brighter than I ever seen it shine that next day. It wasn't cold. It was a cool breeze. Everything was so pretty, y'all. I promise y'all. And I just knew, I know in my heart of hearts that was my mama telling me she made it over. The day of her funeral, it was gloomy. It was cold. But that next day, it was, man, we find acceptance in our own little ways. And sometimes, the stages of grief repeats themselves. And a lot of times you don't even experience the stages of grief in the exact same order that I just read them in. It can be it can come in any order. I would recommend you going to talk to someone about what you're going through when it comes to grief. See, the thing is, everyone deals with grief differently. People cry, laugh, busy themselves with work, throw up, or even feel numb. Some recover quickly while others take their time. You see, grief is a natural healing process, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. Well, I don't want to say there's no wrong way, because acting out and becoming harmful, that's the wrong way to do it. So there's no right way to do grief. Okay. Normal grief varies greatly between cultures and people and situations. For some people, grief can become too painful. It can grow into something totally different, like depression or anxiety. Other times, grief might last for too long and take over a person's life for years on end. That's called complicated grief. Grief, again, is a natural process and does not always require treatment. About 10% of people develop complicated grief after a loss. Complicated grief can be treated with psychotherapy. Now, it's so, it's so much. You got acute grief, which immediately after a loss and for months afterwards, it's normal to have intense symptoms of shock, distress, sadness, poor appetite, sleep trouble, and even poor concentration. These symptoms will slowly diminish with the passage of time. Now, when you are going through the normal grieving process and you come to acute grief, you go to integrated grief, meaning after resolving the most intense symptoms of acute or complicated grief, you will enter the lifelong stage of integrated grief, which at this point you have come to accept the reality of the loss, and you resume daily life activities. This doesn't mean that you miss your loved one any less or that you don't feel pain at their memory. You just learn how to cope. Acute grief may show itself again, especially around holidays, anniversaries, and other reminders. We're getting close to the 1-year anniversary of my mom passing away. So it's getting close to, an anniversary. We just came out of the holidays. My mom liked Thanksgiving, but Christmas was her holiday. April is my mom's, birthday month. And so I remember, even Easter is around that time period. So it's 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 going to be me coming to integrated grief several times, right? But then you can get into complicated grief, and what happens is you go from, again, acute grief, which is immediately after the loss, and for months afterwards. It's normal to have intense symptoms of shock, distress, sadness, poor appetite, sleep trouble, and poor concentration. Again, it says these symptoms will slowly diminish with the passage of time. But instead of going to integrated grief after acute grief, you go into complicated grief, meaning sometimes the symptoms of acute grief never seem to go away. They can last for years. The loss of a loved one continues to feel unreal and unimaginable. You might constantly yearn for the deceased, or experience guilt about the idea of moving on and accepting the loss. Like if you are married to someone, or just in an intimate relationship with someone, you may feel guilty from moving on in that relationship. If I'll never find anyone that's gonna love me the way my mom loved me. I'm not gonna find a second mom. However, I do have a stepmom, and that's someone I can rely on. I have friends that I can rely on. Some are older than me and have are in the capacity to give me motherly advice. I shouldn't feel guilty for receiving that advice and feel like I'm replacing my mom or trying to replace my mom, because she's irreplaceable. It is hands down. And I shouldn't feel guilty of moving on, because my mom would want me to move on with my life. She wouldn't want me to sit back and just dwell on her being gone. She wants me to continue to make her proud. Keep going. So these are, again, just different ways, that we grieve, I say, in the process of which we go through grieving. Now, you can always, check yourself and check how you're doing. Like right now, how do you feel? How do you feel when you start thinking about that loved one that's gone? Identify with how are you feeling right now. So a lot of people will sit back and they'll feel an emotion, and you just don't know what it is, but you feel some type of way. And so the next question could be, well, when do you feel the saddest? When you start feeling the way you are feeling right now? Okay, so that's a sad feeling. Even though you may not be able to give that feeling a name, just call it sad. The thing I miss most about the person I lost is, maybe it's something about that person that you miss so much is giving you a feeling, and you don't know what that feeling is. Well, maybe you feel abandoned. Maybe you feel like that person left you and they abandoned you. That's a negative feeling. That's a bad feeling, because they didn't abandon you. They transitioned, right? Or maybe that thing that you miss about that person, that you lost, is making you feel like numb. You don't feel any emotion because that one thing that you miss about them is gone, and I'm just numb at it. So ask yourself, since the loss, things have been different because My family, if you're not just by yourself, maybe you have children, and that loved one being gone has impacted not only you but your whole entire household. So you can ask, my family usually feels, happy, or my family usually feels excited. If I could ask the person I lost one thing, what would that be? Maybe it's something that you didn't get to ask them. If you could ask them, or if you could say one more thing, what would it be? Something I liked about the person who I lost was what? What was it about that person that you've lost that you like so much? One thing I learned from the person I lost is, what is one thing that you learned from that person that may be able to help you get to the other side, right? Maybe you have to spend a little bit more time on the memory of that loved one and understand that when that happens, you may wind up going back through the stages of grief. Never allow anyone tell you how long you should grieve. No one can tell you how long. You take your time. Just never act on your negative emotions. Never act on those. But I highly recommend you getting help, or just talking to someone, anybody. Start you a social media channel. Create you a Bigo account if you haven't been live on your Bigo account and you're going through something in life, and hit that go live button, and don't care if nobody shows up to your Bigo live, or start you a YouTube channel. If nobody shows up at your YouTube channel, so what? Just it's the fact that you're at least you're talking. Just talk and get that out of you. Nobody understands me. Somebody out there. There's somebody out there. This world, because of social media, this world, everybody is connected. So it used to be nobody, I don't know nobody. But now you still may not know anybody, but because the way social media has come and reshaped, our culture, you can go ahead and just hit go live, and there's somebody out there that needs to hear you. There's somebody out there that needs to hear that story from you, because that's going to inspire them. So as I sit here and I grieve and go through what I'm going through, I'm in my heart of hearts hoping that I'm helping somebody, giving back to somebody. I just want people to know that, there's somebody here that's going through similar things, similar problems. Man. I do miss my mom. She is my loved one. And I know that, you know, no matter what, everything is going to be all right. I carry a lot of memories. You know, we had lost our family photo album years ago. But when we had to go through my mom's things, I was able to find pictures that my mom had that she got from my grandmother. Back in the day, you know, they had Kodak, Polaroid. So when you would take pictures, sometimes you had to take them down to, for us, it would be to our local Walgreens, and we'd be able to get our photos developed. And so every time my mom would get her photos developed, she would always make a second copy and give my grandmother the same photos. So when she passed away and we went through her things, I found a box. And when I opened it, it was all of those photos that we had lost from our family photo album. I'm like, oh, there go family. Here's the family photos. The thing is, you got to remember, I told you my mom didn't have my sister until I was 15, and then she had Madison, my sister Madison. I don't say I was like 20, 23, 24, something like that. Because again, I got an 18-year-old sister, so I'm the only one to know the stories of way back in the 90s. You know, my second sister, or excuse me, my sister Destiny, she didn't show up until 2000. And so by that time, I was already heading into my sophomore year of high school. And so when you know, they see these pictures like, oh man, here's some pictures. I see mama, but I don't know these people, or, you know, I where's this? I know the stories behind all that. And so I'm able to sit around and tell not just my sisters, but now my kids and my nieces and nephew about not just their grandmother, but their great grandmother as well. It just is amazing that at the age of 37 years old, I'm already considered an elder in my family, man. My mom is gone, my auntie gone, my grandmother's gone. That was our core. That was our core family. Then you had myself, and then my auntie had 5 kids, so it was my cousins. We the elders of our family, man. My cousin, we are in our 30s and 40s. Like I'm in my late 30s, early 40s coming up. I'll be 38 this year. And again, at the age of 38, I'm an elder. I'm still young. I'm in the second stage of my life right now. And I'm already an elder. Yo, what is really going on? This world has shaped us so much that, you know, the old heads are getting younger. Kind of stuff is that, you know, you really not seeing a whole lot of people make it to the ages of, you know, late 60s and 70s and things. So the lifespan of the human seems like it's diminishing. If you are in your mid to late 30s, you are already at the half of your life. Because again, you got to think, the world makes you think that, you know, retirement age is going to be the age of 65. And so you think, man, people really don't make it to see 65. Again, I got shot in the head, and I did not live a life of crime. That was when I was 35 years old. There's a lot of people going away in their 30s, 40s. My mom, again, she be 55 this year, man. She gone. folks. And the thing is, the media and everything, they don't make you think about that. You got a whole generation of kids that's like thinking that, oh man, I gotta be a six-figure earner. Dude, you better focus on enjoying your life, because the lifespan of the human is not what you think it is. If you are in your 30s, if you in your early 30s, you just got to the mid part of your life, yo. Man, this world, it has changed, and it's changing all the time. My grandmother lived to be 75 years old. My auntie, I want to say she made it to 58. My mom made it to 53. One of my first cousins passed away. She was Peaches. She made it to 41, man. I got popped in the head and I coded out at the age of 35, but I'm still here. But 35, I was finna be gone, man. And I was finna leave behind 2 kids. We hearing about different celebrities and whatnot. So many people are passing away in they early to late 30s and early to late 40s. It's a blessing if you hear somebody still alive in their 70s or 80s these days. This world got you thinking that 65 is retirement. Bruh, you know how many people ain't making it to 65? And you gotta think, if 60 is old, then dude, half of 60 is 30. If you at 30 years old, if you at 30, this world got you believing that you can get to because you can get to 65, but that will be 35 more years. If you made it to 30, man, that's a blessing, man. If you at the age of 30, you really ask yourself, what does the next 35 look like for me? If your answer is, working hard and okay. Now, really, really break that down. The job you do, how stressful is that job? How stressful is your life outside of that job? Like, you got to think about that, because as you get older, those things that you worry about, that you've been worrying about for years, that you've taken with you from early age to your adult years, if you haven't healed from certain traumas, from when you was a kid, and you still carrying it, all that is been way heavily on you in this next 35. If you made it to 30 and 30 is what? 60. 65 is retirement. So 35 years, another 35 years, do you really think that your body is going to be able to take the level of stress that you put it under for the first 30? Health complications and things are showing up earlier in our age group, man. Around 30, 35, folks finding out they got disability, and they got diabetes, and they got all type of high blood pressure at the age of 30s, 40s. More people bodies are breaking down. A lot of women are waiting until their late 40s early 40s to have kids. But we know that our body really starts physically like taking a toll on us in that age group. So you got to think, if you wait until you in your 40s, late 40s, early 40s to have kids, what does that next 18 years gonna look like for you? You have a baby, you are banking on the fact that you still finna be here kicking and everything by 18 years. We hope you are, but let's take a look at that. If you just had a baby in your 40s, 18 years, 58, how is you gonna be? How is your health gonna be? Oh, I recently transitioned to vegan and all that. Okay, so you think fruits and vegetables are gonna tack on some more years? We seeing a lot of people pass away and ain't because of health conditions. That used to be the sole thing. We seeing more people check out because driving crazy, just is the lifestyle that they are trying to change from. It was still so many health complications wrapped up in that. Then just your body, period, just your body being its body. A lot of illnesses are hereditary. So you sitting here eating and drinking good, that's great. I exercising around the clock every day, eating raw vegetables, all that. But then you find out I still inherited this illness from my family. Don't forget that in one of the stages of grief is called bargaining. And the problem with bargaining, you feel you're searching for unlikely cures in the case of a terminal illness. Well, they got, you got to take that black seed, you got to drink that black seed, eat that sea moss. But then you hear that, well, your granddaddy ate pork every day of his life and he lived to 85. And so did my Aunt Myrtle and all these other people. So was it really the pork that killed him? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just talking. Oh, man. I miss my mom, y'all. I miss my mom. By all means, do everything you can to, prolong, your lifespan on this earth. But understand, man, you can all come to an end anytime. And, you do everything you can do so you don't become a victim of, certain things. Like I said, I've never lived a life of crime. But I got shot in the head. So people automatically, in their own way, he must have been trying to get into the dope game. He must have been trying to do this. He must be trying to do that. Nope. I was trying to go see my friends Tuesday night because I was going to be off work Wednesday and I was going to get up and drive for Uber. I stopped at the store to get some beer and wind up not even making a purchase, and I ain't even buy the beer over there. I said, man, I'm finna go to the store closer to they have what they was, because they didn't even have what I was looking for. Minding my own business. So it don't matter what you got going on, man. If your time is gonna come, it's gonna come. It don't matter if you are in the gym 8 times a week. I don't know how you gonna be in the gym 8 times a week. You know better than I do, but you make it happen. It don't matter if you eat 42 apples, 3 oranges, and a smoothie, and you jog 82 miles. That's what I'm getting at, man. It don't matter. My cousin was 41. You know how she died? She got hit by a garbage truck trying to cross the street in front of the city bus. She got off the city bus and walked in front of it and got hit by a garbage truck that didn't want to wait for the damn light and wait for people to get off the bus. She exercised all the damn time, man. Peaches died because she got hit by a garbage truck, bro. Do you know how that made me feel? What kind of death is that? Do you know how angry at God I was? Like, what a garbage truck, bro? And Peaches was special. She was special. She had a mental illness. She thought she was Jesus Christ. Peaches would come to church and interrupt. I remember one time when I was 9 years old, Peaches came to church and interrupted church saying she was Jesus Christ and jumped over in the baptism pool and started baptizing herself. Real story. BS you not, man. My cousin had a mental illness, man, and said she was Jesus Christ. And really believed it, man. Peaches wouldn't hurt a fly on the wall. You mean to tell me the way she had to go up out of here was death by a garbage truck, man? What, man? Too much stuff has happened in my life for me to keep on believing, man. They have us just believing this shit, man, and we just go with it. We just go with it, man. But again, I'm not telling you don't eat healthy and, you know. But don't think that's the only thing that's going to save you, man. That's what I'm getting to. You sitting here believing it, man. All I got to do is eat right. Wrong. All I got to do is live right. Wrong. Shit. I live right. I don't eat right all the time. But I live right. I don't do harm to others. I don't do fuck shit like that. I get popped in the head. Damn. Drug deal gone bad. I got labeled all type of stuff. People stop talking to me because they didn't. I wake up in the hospital and I get on Facebook and I'm starting to see what happened. Folks I ain't heard from since elementary school calling me through Facebook, and I'm seeing people share my story. Like, damn, you would think I'm best friends with that person. What the heck, man? You see all type of shit, man. Folks that couldn't stand your shadow. Now all of a sudden they do, oh man, I miss such and such. What the? All that, man. I went through all that, man. I'm here to tell you, yo. I got one of the most craziest stories being alive on this planet, man, that you will ever hear in your life, man. Like, I bullshit you not. I got shot in the head. I had a cousin. 2020. Was it 2021. 2021, down here in Nashville, Tennessee, man. I had a cousin, man, that got popped and killed by the police. Nicole. Why? Because she was driving a car where the tags was registered to a man that's been wanted by the police. when the police pulled her over in the parking lot of the Dollar General store, and he saw that when she got out, the man wasn't in the car. The police was still in the wrong. They both wound up being in the wrong, but he was more in the wrong because he was supposed to let her go because she's not the person he looking for. He didn't detain her, put her in cuffs, and I'm detaining you for just a second. None of that. He smelled weed on the car and wanted to do a search and all that, but he in cuff, he didn't do none of that. So she kept reaching back in the car. But we all knew what was gonna happen because we like, man, bro, cuz ain't finna go. She not finna go to jail, bro. She not finna go. She ain't finna go down. She wound up popping him, and he wound up popping her like a few times. She wound up driving and only made it up street, but the direction she was headed in, she was trying to head to the hospital. Died behind the wheel, coasted. Car came to a stop, crashed. The year I wound up getting shot, June of 2019, I wound up moving in with my cousin because me and my daughter's mom, we separated, and I moved in with my cousin to get my money and everything back right, get my own spot. I do just that. I move in with him June. I move out, and I moved out October 18th. October 18th, I moved into the apartment complex that I'm in now. Of course, 4 days later, I got shot. But no, I move into the spot, 4 days later I get shot. Wake up in the hospital. October like 24th, 25th, I woke up. I go to rehabilitation hospital. And November 22nd, I'm released from the hospital and able to go home with my my stepmom and my dad. And I remember when it was time for me to move home. I moved back home. I think it was like around January or something. But when it was time for me to move back home, because I had got shot, and I live in duplex. The duplex style apartments in apartment complex, and that's what I had moved into when I first started or living out here. And so it was like, all right, I now need a handicap unit because I was in a wheelchair. So the day that I was supposed to transfer apartments, that January, February, somewhere around now, the cousin that I had moved in with in June of 2019 wind up taking some bad pills and died. Then later that year, cuz wound up getting shot and killed by the Metro Police. Not only that, my sister wound up getting shot. My baby sister on my dad's side wound up getting shot 5 times. All because the dude that is wanted by the cops was scared that he was gonna get, I guess, get turned in or something along those lines. So before he ran off again, he tried to take my sister out. Because he was like, I don't want her revealing where I'm at. She doing a whole lot better than me. Found out that her body got injured so much that she can't have any more kids. My family has been through so much. So much, man. And I'm thankful that God sees fit to continue to have a certain level of protection around me, my children, my family. I'm so thankful that God sees fit to bless us like this. Because you hear stories like this, and y'all, it's people done said, man, you know, we're family superheroes, and you know, just all type of crazy stuff. We are a blessed family, is all I can tell you. If you are pure heart, man, and I'm not saying that this is the case every time, but for whatever reason God chooses to have this level of favor over my life, all I can do is say thank you. Because the night that I got shot in the head, it was a man that was laying diagonal from me, and I remember hearing them tell that man's family that they had to leave. That I heard how they was over there working on that man. Had the same gunshot wound to the head that I did, and he died, man. Why does God have this level of favor in my life? I don't know. Why does he have it over my sister? I don't know. I know there's people still out here waiting to get justice for the wrongdoings that was done to them. People that lost a loved one for gun violence and things like this have not received closure. But for whatever reason, God saw fit for me to get that closure. The man that shot me was arrested 2 weeks after he committed the crime. But because of COVID, they had to delay everything. Again, there's people that's waiting for their attempted, you know, deleter, because you know certain words are sensitive when it comes to YouTube. So their attempted deleter is still on, you know, out there at large. They still waiting to receive judgments. Some people, their attempted deleter is in jail, and they still waiting for that case to be pulled so they can go to court. Some people attempted deleter beat the case because they hired a lawyer who is willing to represent them and they fuckery, and maybe their injury was preyed upon like mine was, and so it's so much. But for whatever reason, God saw fit for me to receive that level of favor. He also saw fit for me, even though it's time for my mom to go, it's time for her to transition to another world, it's time for her to transition to another dimension, time for her to transition to another universe, whatever the case may be. I was able to tell my mama about a certain level of peace. I was able to tell my mama, I've already visited the other side, mama, and I can tell you how peaceful it feels, mama. Go to it. Don't be scared of it. I can tell the people out here that God moved the hand of death away from me. There's no sting in the death. I didn't experience it. Again, it says, death, where's your sting? Sting, where's it? Man, God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Death, where's your sting? Death, where is your grave? Death, where is your victory? Because it says he got up with all powers in his hand. That's the songs, words that was taught to me when I was a kid. Somebody knows about it. That's why I keep saying to y'all, man, there's a lot in this world that is unexplainable. And again, if there's peace on the other side, then there's definitely agony on the other side. There's definitely calamity on the other side. There's definitely turmoil on the other side. There's definitely chaos on the other side. And if you don't believe me, then you keep on doing. If you are a person that's full of fuckery and negativity, you keep doing what you doing. You keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. As sure as we have up and down, right and wrong, left and right in this universe, if there's peace on the other side, there's definitely chaos on the other side. And you be the choice. You choose. When it's your time to go, will yours be peaceful? Are you gonna feel that peace? Then I'm telling you about, because I can't tell you about what the negative feeling feel like. I can only tell you, hey man, I feel peace, and that's what I want to feel the next time I go about here. I don't want to know what it feel like to experience anything other than that peace, bro. I don't care what you gotta say. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to know. I don't care. I don't care. I want to feel that peace again, bro. If that's how it is going, if I gotta go and that's how I feel when you go, I'm cool. I'm telling y'all, man, this is a real conversation because we all gotta go. Y'all, you can be scared to have a conversation about death if you want to. That don't mean it ain't gonna happen to you. It is, whether you like it or not. And I'm here to tell you, man. I don't know how many people are on YouTube or on Bigo telling you their death experience. I'm telling you the truth. I didn't see an angel. I didn't see streets of gold. I didn't see, pearly gates. I didn't see none of that. I just saw complete darkness. It was pitch black. Your level of pitch black is you can't see nothing in front of you. You can't even see your hand in front of you. I'm telling you, my level of pitch black, it was pitch blacker than that pitch black. That's how black it was. It wasn't scary black either. It wasn't a scary, dark, creepy, what's that over in the corner? It's finna get me. I got my foot. Let me go. It wasn't nothing like it. It wasn't nothing like it. It was, man, that it's gotta be nothing but that perfect peace that they talked about in church, man. Perfect peace. That's it. It exists. It's real. And if that's real, then that means that there's another side to it, and you don't want that shit. I can tell you that. I've heard stories about that. I've heard stories about people when they transition, they screaming and crying and stuff. I heard a story about a man that was on his deathbed that was able to talk, but his just like mom, his speech left him. And they said that they have given him more, they gave him morphine because they was able to tell that he was in excruciating pain. Hey, bro, play with it. You can play with it if you want to. That's on you, man. That's on you. That's on you. For my mom, she wasn't hurting or nothing. It wasn't nothing like that happening. They just wanted her to be comfortable. When I was whispering into my mom, telling her to calm down and breathe, they was already about to administer oxygen, put the oxygen on my mom's face. Now, like, they didn't even have to do that because her breathing regulated back to normal, and she started transitioning more peacefully. Man, y'all better quit playing with this stuff, man. I don't care if you don't want to believe, you know, I don't care if you don't want to believe anything outside of what I told you. Meaning, I don't care if you want to believe that there's a God, there's not a God, there's a Jesus, there's not a Jesus. If you can agree with me that there's a up, there's a down, there's a left, there's a right, there's a salty, there's a sweet, there's a painful, there's no pain, then you understand there's peace and then there's chaos. And on the other side, I felt peace. So that, according to the logic, that means that you can definitely go to the other side and experience other than peace. And I ain't trying to do that, bro. Nope. Never made sense to me that if people can believe that there's alternate dimensions, we can reincarnate, and okay. So what makes you think you won't reincarnate into a terrible body? Because when you was here the last time in the body you got, you was just jacked up, and so as your punishment and consequence, you got to reincarnate into a body that's gonna get fucked up, maybe may get mutilated or something. You never know. What if you, when you die, you wake up in another hellish dimension worse than this one, to where every day your body is on fire, and every day you feel the burns, and it never goes away. Every day it feels like you just got caught on fire, and you'll never get used to it. And then the requirements to get out of that dimension, you gotta find a way to turn the fire off or something. I listen, all type of shit. I'm telling you. I ain't finna play with it, man. I ain't finna play with it, man. Get yourself together. It's a reason why they telling you, man, live your life as though there is a God. So when you die and you find out there's no God, at least there's nothing to worry about. But if you live your life as if there's no fucking God, I hate it for you if you die and you find out that, that's on you, bro. All you had to do is tap in and get with your higher self. Learn how to move. I'm so thankful that I'm getting help. I'm so thankful that I have gotten help. I talk to a psychologist every Tuesday because I said I need some help, man. The only person that I know that understands me when I get super upset, when I'm super happy, when I'm whatever, is my mama, man. And that's gone now. And the only other person other than her was my grandmama. I still have my dad. My dad is in my life. But there's nothing like your mama, bro. It's nothing like your mom. If you're a man, like your mom, bro, my dupes. What's going on, KB the guide? I'm not sure if you just tuned in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. Whoever y'all are that's tuned in, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm telling you my story. We live right here on Bigo, and we live right here on YouTube. Shout out to, the YouTube family. Shout out to the Bigo family. You don't hear people talking about, damn, you died? Yeah, I died, bro. Yeah, I died. I sure the hell did. They told my family they need to go ahead and start making preparations. And my brother said, man, Daddy said, hey, boy, wake up. And I woke up. But I told him, well, it had to be at the same time that he was saying that. My grandma was telling me, don't bring your ass up here yet, because that's what I heard. I'm just telling you, I'm dead serious. I'm like, dang, man, for real? Yeah, man. I remember I woke up and I'm looking around. I see all the little, cords and stuff on me. I'm trying to get out of bed. I don't even know that, my right side is all fucked. I just get up and I'm trying to get up. Man, doctors and nurses came, and I remember one nurse had her forearm like right here across my chest. I'm looking up like well, I couldn't talk, so I'm trying to talk. And man, dude, my brother had to explain, like, they wound up knocking me back out. My dad was like, man, you wouldn't calm down, man. They got a needle and put in your arm. Next thing you know, you gone. But then I remember waking up again, and my brother was trying to tell me everything that happened. Like, bro, they was telling us that they had done all they could do, that you wasn't responding to none of the tests they had ran on you, man. And we was like, no. And you woke up, bro. You woke up, man. If you didn't wake up, it's all over. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Y'all need to hear this. Because this word got you focused on the wrong stuff, man. They got a whole lot of y'all focused on trying to make 6 fucking figures. For what? For what, man? You can't take the 6 figures with you. I ain't saying live. I'm not telling by any means telling you to live life, just struggling and trying to make it. I'm telling you, man, you better start enjoying the side of life that you need to enjoy, and stop making yourself a victim of your bills. Stop trying to get to the money, man. Y'all, you better start living and really appreciating life, man. Because I'm telling you, when I was in the street chase with this man, I was driving a brand new car. I had a 2019 Nissan Sentra. I had just put the tints on that. Come on, man. I had a good job, good paying job, making good money, uncapped commission and everything. I was licensed by the state of Tennessee. I was doing good. And getting ready to go into real estate, and I was going to be a real estate agent and an insurance agent. Not only can I sell you insurance, I was going to write the insurance policy for the house that I was going to sell to somebody. Like I had a game plan. You think I was giving a damn about the insurance license or the real estate exam, or do you think I was caring about my bank account or anything when I was running for my life? And now all that shit is over with. I don't care. This is what I'm so thankful for. I have nothing but time. I know a lot of y'all might be at work just tuned in listening to me. I have what majority of the people that's listening to me right now want. It's time. I wanted to be that dude that was like, man, I need a residual income, bro. I want to get to a point where I wake up in the morning. I made about like $8,000 last night, man. Cool, we finna go play golf today. I never envisioned this is how I will have time. I can do anything I want to do right now. It gets to the point to where I gotta remember I call people like, hey bro, let me meet you back on work. Like, damn man, I keep forgetting. Like I don't really keep up with the days no more until it's time. I gotta make sure, I get my keys, right, and all that. What I mean is, like today, this week, I don't have to have my keys. So I forgot we just came into Tuesday. I forgot today was Tuesday. I don't keep. I ain't got nothing to do unless if it's an appointment, it'll chime on my phone. Because what I do is as soon as they tell me about the appointment, I go ahead and go to that. What's today's date? Oh, okay. I go to that the date they say the appointment gonna be on, and I'll go ahead and schedule and put an alarm on. And then I'm whatever. I don't care and think about the day. Do you know that I can go to Opry Mills Mall right here in Nashville, Tennessee, and catch a matinee movie? I can be the only one in the movie theater by myself, just sitting there, just enjoying the whole movie. Man, I went to the movie and called a 10 o'clock movie. Got out. The movie's about 12:30, so I walked over to a little restaurant. Man, I was able to eat all the food I could and went home. Because of my accident, I still haven't been approved. I haven't been approved to drive yet. While everybody out here paying $3.49 or higher for gas prices and all that, I only pay $3. I got a bus ticket, the little disability bus. Can they come and give me a call, make it, hey, I want to go to this address at this time and then pick me up at this time to bring me back home or take me to this address, whatever. It costs $3 both ways. I got a little ticket. I'm like, damn man, I'm really blessed. Everybody else out here trying to figure out how they gonna pay, for gas now. I ain't gotta worry about that. I can pay $3. Go where I want to go. All right, cool. It's like the worries that a majority of the people have. I thank God that He took me. I don't have to stress about that. I don't get me wrong. I don't like what happened to me. I don't like the fact that I got shot in the head, but I am glad that this happened to me. Because now I'm not only able to tell you guys how good God is and how magnificent He is, I'm also like, yo, I'm living the life that I really always wanted, to be able to have time to do whatever I want and whenever I want. I may not be able to do whatever I want all the time, but I can do it majority of the time. It feels so good not to have to get up and fight traffic to go to work. It feels good not to have to worry about this stuff no more, man. I will say this. I am so glad that I did work my ass off before all this happened, because of that, that's how I'm able to take care of myself. Because I did put in that work. Yeah, I'm glad, man. Super glad. Wake up, eat cereal, watch TV, go for a walk. I'm gonna go over here, see what they doing. Whatever I want to do. And don't have to worry about tomorrow. I gotta go tomorrow. It'll be 4 years this year that I have not clocked in. And I live I'm a single father. I live by myself. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. I'm taking care of myself, man. I'm thankful for that. I thank God for that. And that's one thing I can say is my mom taught me to thank God for everything. Even me getting shot in the head, I'm thankful. Dude, I'm talking to you with a 40 caliber bullet in my head, and you can understand everything I'm saying. Ain't that not amazing? Dude, let me show you something. You see this crystal right here? You see that crystal? Do you see that shard? It's a shard right here. That's part of the bullet that came out of my head. I promise to God, I put that on everything. I got shot 2019, and in 2020, this bullet shard worked its way out of my head. This right here, this brown jagged part. These are this is a crystal, and then these are different stones. Of course, you know, it's got a little copper wire. A good friend of mine made this for me. This is a piece of the 40 caliber bullet that's in my head. A bullet shard worked its way out, and when it worked its way out of my head, I felt so much better. Like I was told that my speech returned better, and like I was feeling a whole lot better. This comes after they had closed and stitched my wound. My wound had been closed since, you know, everything happened. And then out of nowhere, I started seeing little blood drops on my pillow when I would wake up. One day I woke up and it was just the tip of this thing was showing. It worked its way all the way out. One night I went to sleep. I started sleeping with a nightcap. And when I took my nightcap off, this came, it's like if I felt like a razor blade had just got swiped over my head. I looked at my nightcap, and this is a bullet fragment. Bullet shard. I have it encased in a crystal so I can keep it forever, man. It took me a minute to find it. I keep that crystal. In here, this is lapis lazuli stone. I keep that crystal and my lapis lazuli in this little pill bottle. And I was so mad. I was like, man, I can't find my crystal. I don't know what happened to that crystal. I hid it so well. Keep it right here in my little cabinet. I'm not lying to you. I still have the 40 caliber. The bullet went in back here, right here where my hand is, and it ripped all this. That's why I got a ball spot right here. It came in right here and ripped all of this. They said I would need to have skull reconstructive surgery. Big dude, what's going on, big dude? Smoke, I see you. They said I would have to have skull reconstructive surgery. And like I said, I don't want them messing with it. I don't leave it alone, because maybe the bullet is sitting, you know, right here because, you know, and it's keeping me alive. What if you take it out and then I die or something? You know, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. So this is real, man. This is all real. This is all real. But like I said, man, I will thank God for it all. I'm thankful I got shot in the head. I'm thankful that he brought me back to life. I'm thankful that he returned my speech, and I'm thankful that I'm able to walk. I'm thankful that I can tell you about how amazing God has been in my life. I'm thankful that he chose me to be a vessel, an instrument to tell about the good news of God, man. I'm thankful for that. God is not a genie in my book. God does not, it ain't no, oh God, I pray to you and abracadabra and boom, and there it is. I don't believe God works like that. I believe that he chooses those. I really do. I'm telling you, man. And for everyone, I'm telling you, I was that same guy. I was born and raised in Christianity. As I got older, I strayed away from Christianity to learn more about African spirituality and Pan-Africanism. I was listening to people like Dr. Umar Johnson. I was listening to Dr. Henry Clark. You know, I was listening to I was listening to all the conscious community talk, RBG, Marcus Garvey, all that, man. Pro-black, black on this, all that, man. Man, the white man gave us their religion, and you know, Jesus ain't real, and we all come from Africa, and all of that. And then this happened right here, me getting shot. Bow. As a matter of fact, I was going through leadership training at my job. I was training to be training to be a supervisor. And they was telling me, you know, we want you to be a little bit more humble in the process, because, you know, it's going to help develop you to become a good leader. And one of those things of, you know, I want to be more humble. I also asked God to show me who he was, because I had gotten so into like African spirituality, and then that started falling apart because I'm following the folks that's supposed to be the real leaders of the conscious community and all that, and people getting scammed, and just all type of crazy stuff was happening. So I'm like, my mama and my grandmama now told me, anything you put up against Jesus is always gonna fall. And so I'm not saying that none of those deities or, you know, beliefs are real, false, or nothing like that. But nothing changed from the worship experience that I learned, but everything kept changing with the conscious community. So it was fickle. Fickle is the word that the older generation used. You can't depend on it. It's unstable. God's word ain't changed. You change. So I asked, show me who you are. I done been to church. I done sung in the mass choir, men's choir, youth choir. I done danced on the praise teams. I done sung with the praise teams. I done led the prayers. I done prayed the prayers. I done been baptized. I done ate the living bread and drank the wine. I done extended the right hand of fellowship. I even washed my brother and sister's feet. I've done it all, man. And my life is still been messed up. Show me who you are. Here I am. Here I am, y'all. No lies to tell you. Here I am. As sure as I'm a black man talking on YouTube and Bigo, I got shot in the head, 40 caliber bullet. All you got to do is Google man shot in the head, October 22nd, 2019, Nashville, Tennessee. Boom. It's gonna come straight up. They gonna play the clip. All that, man. It's all good though. It is all good. God still gets all the glory. God still gets all the praise. And so, yeah, I miss my loved one. I hope today's live stream here on YouTube really helped you out, and I was able to, you know, deposit something into your life that you may have not known, or maybe I've given you a bit of advice that you feel may help you. Either way, I want to thank you so much for extending your time to listen to this live stream. Please hit the like button and share the content so that we can stay within the algorithm, and share this content with your family, with your friends. Definitely let them know this is a space where they can come to get inspiration, affirmations, positivity. That's what we do over here. I am your host, Favorite Energy. And if you don't do anything else, you make sure you have a great rest of the day on purpose. Peace. But I wasn't wrong.